We are here for the third in a 52-ish part series as we journey week by week through the Daily Laws by Robert Greene. This is in tandem-ish with a series on the channel for The Daily Stoic by Ryan Holiday. What I will do each week is pick one, maybe 2 days out of the lineup, out of the week's reading, and present it on the channel. Now, I'm going to do something in this video that I don't normally do. I don't do it here. I don't do it on Strip Cover Lit where I talk about books. I don't do it on the sort of other YouTube channels that I run. I don't do it at work. I don't do it away from work. I don't do it at home. I don't do it while I'm driving. I'm going to open up. And I know, look, I don't like it any more than you do. But it's the only way that I know to talk about the things that are going on for January 14th and 15th here in this book. Now, we have a couple of quotes. The quotes here come from Lao Tzu and Leonardo da Vinci, and I will present them separate from the day's readings because I think that they work well in tandem, and they will set the stage for the actual day's readings. Now, Lao Tzu says, "At the center of your being, you have the answer. You know who you are, and you know what you want." From Leonardo da Vinci, we get the following. "Just as a well-filled day brings blessed sleep, so a well-employed life brings blessed death." Sounds macabre, but it is not, because this is inevitable. This is not. So the blessed part of that death is not necessarily going to be the case. Why do these two quotes work well in unison? Well, because, like Chris Cornell told us, you have to be who you are. That is not the quote. What is the quote from Audio Slave's second album? Be yourself is all that you can do. But for January 14th, we get the following. A false path in life, goes with the Lao Tzu quote, a false path in life is generally something we are attracted to for the wrong reasons. Money, fame, attention, and so on. If it is attention we need, we often experience a kind of emptiness inside that we are hoping to fill with the false love of public approval. Because the field we choose does not correspond with our deepest inclinations, we rarely find the fulfillment that we crave. Our work suffers for this, and the attention we may have gotten in the beginning starts to fade. A painful process. If it is money and comfort that dominate our decision, we are most often acting out of anxiety and need to please our parents. They may steer us toward something lucrative out of care and concern, but lurking underneath this can be something else. Perhaps a bit of envy that we have more freedom than they had when they were young. Your strategy must be twofold. First, to realize as early as possible that you have chosen your career for the wrong reasons, before your confidence takes a hit. And second, to actively rebel against those forces that have pushed you away from your true path. Scoff at the need for attention and approval. They will lead you astray. Feel some anger and resentment at the parental forces that want to foist upon you an alien vocation. It is a healthy part of your development to follow a path independent from your parents and to establish your own identity. Let your sense of rebellion fill you with energy and purpose. I will add that it is easy for Robert Greene to say that, as he did succeed as a writer. Daily law. If you're on a false path, get off. Find energy in rebellion. I will also add briefly, Robert Greene adds the need to rebel from parental forces. It is not, however, necessarily the parental force that is guiding or aiming the missile that is your life. It could be societal forces. What does society tell us that we should do? On the kissing page to this January 15th, what we lack most in the modern world is a sense of a larger purpose to our lives. In the past, it was organized religion that often supplied this. But most of us now live in a secularized world. We human animals are unique. We must build our own world. We do not simply react to events out of biological scripting, but without a sense of direction provided to us, we tend to flounder. We don't know how to fill up and structure our time. There seems to be no defining purpose to our lives. We are perhaps not conscious of this emptiness, but it infects us in all kinds of ways. Feeling that we are called to accomplish something is the most positive way for us to supply this sense of purpose and direction. It is a religious like quest for each of us. The meaning of life, right? That's what he's talking about there. This quest should not be seen as selfish or antisocial. It is, in fact, connected to something larger than our individual lives. Our evolution as a species has depended on the creation of a tremendous diversity of skills and ways of thinking. Daily law. Think back on the moments when you felt deeply and personally connected to an activity. Think about the pleasure it brought to you. In such activities, are signs of your true purpose. Now, these two ideas, being yourself, accepting that responsibility of the heavy responsibility of whether your path in life may or may not actually be a real path in life. What do I mean by that? Sounds stupid. Living your own path is a path that has not yet been forged. If you are charged with carving a path through the woods, it's woods. They're the woods. It's the wilderness. It's the wild. It might be that you yourself cannot find your way through those woods, and you lead yourself blindly to the river, and you can't swim. That is what might happen in life. This is something I'm struggling with right now because there is no real blueprint for what it is that I want to do, for what it is that I feel is my calling. Me, personally, and the only reason I'm sharing this is because we all have our own struggles in this way, I think. We all have, so maybe your calling is to be a grade school teacher. Okay, you have that path. That's there. Maybe your calling is retail management. Okay, that path is there. Maybe your calling is electrical engineer. Okay, that's there. I bet most of the people in most of those professions are doing that thing because it is only tertiarily connected to what it is that they want to do. Maybe that retail manager really is an entrepreneur at heart. Maybe that grade school teacher really is the fostering type and wants a family of their own. Now, it could be they are completely fulfilled through that choice of vocation. I'm not suggesting that it is never the case that that happens. What I am saying is that sometimes there is not something so set in society that we can pluck out, plant it in ourselves, and end up satisfied. And I think that by sharing my own situation here, maybe someone at some time can watch this and find that thing in themselves that I am obviously not seeing. I did the work thing right out of high school because I didn't really have a whole lot of choice. And because I didn't have a whole lot of choice and I didn't add a whole lot of value to the workplace, I oftentimes had to do the 2, sometimes the 3 job thing, all while trying to put myself through community college. I knew somewhere the thing in me that had to happen was ideas. I had always wanted 2 things in life when I was real small. I wanted a truck, and I wanted to go to college. Don't know why. Just had to do them. I have a small truck. It's a responsible truck. It's a Ford Ranger, indestructible except for the door handles. Jim Farley, you've got to get on that. I tweeted you. I still have no response. 5 years later, I had my 2-year degree. Sometime after that, I had afforded myself the opportunity to go off to college, to do the actual college thing. Now, I'm already 23, right? I am in my junior year off at college, the age most people have already graduated. Mind you, still having to do the 2, sometimes 3 job thing. But I got to live in the world of ideas, and for the first time in my life, I felt alive. Throwing around ideas from Jacques Derrida, really understanding what communism is, not just what they teach you at the high school level, and understanding all of the dynamics of how Marxist thought can infect other things. Marxist theory, all of these things. It's not just, it's brought oftentimes into literature, into philosophy, not just economics. I really felt alive. It was that idea, it was that world of ideas that I sought. That is where I want to live. Now, I'm creeping up on 40. I have a job. Pays me well enough for me. Pays me more than what I need. I have a job. I don't have a career. I have housing. You're looking at my housing now. I don't have a home. I have family. I don't have my family. I don't have a family of my own. What I mean to say by that, right? A family that I have started. A family for which I am the patriarch. And I have, to go with this, a little bit of success in the world of ideas. Some publishing credits, 2 monetized YouTube channels that pay me a little bit of scratch, working on a 3rd. I've got a 4th brewing. There's about 30 different ones I want to do, right? But like I said, I'm creeping up on 40. At what point are you supposed to give up? At what point do you reach the level of failure? At what point have you lost and become a loser? Because it feels like it an awful lot. And again, not saying these things for any type of sympathy. Robert Greene even says, I've seen countless interviews with Robert Greene. Love Robert Greene. He says that I believe he was 36 or 37 when he had his first book published. And up until that point, he felt like an abject failure. He had tried all sorts of things. He even had jobs writing. He had a job as a journalist, and he had a job writing in Hollywood. Was not good at either of them, did not like either of them, and failed his way out of them. He says he had, I think he says he had like 100 jobs. He was a bellboy. He was I think he said he was a bellboy. Uh, I can't remember all the things he said he did, but that's a lot of stuff, right? Where I'm at, I'm not really job hopping, right? I'm making just enough to be kind of comfortable. And if I look out 30 years to the time of retirement, if I just chug along at the rate I'm going and nothing ever goes wrong, I'll be pretty all right. I'll be pretty good. I'll be doing, decent. Probably at some point, a little bit after retirement age, I'll be able to retire. Also, I don't do anything. Never been on vacation, never been on a plane, never gone anywhere just to go there. Every place I've gone there to live. I've lived in 3 different cities. I have lived a couple 100 miles away from the place I was born. It doesn't sound impressive. Most people, they say, never live more than 40 miles, I think it is, from the place they were born. I've done that, but I haven't visited Tijuana, right? I haven't done any of these exotic things, even been on a plane. At what point do I sell the world of ideas for a better job? Because I could do it. I could get a promotion and lose a whole lot of the energy that I have to work on things after work. And the only reason I'm talking about this, like a little bit of this series and the Daily Stoic series will be soul bearing. Obviously, when you're talking about something like this, the Daily Laws or the Daily Stoic, which are journalistic type, not journalist, the newspaper journalist, but like your own personal journal, it's sort of that type of thing. This is going to be a video that probably describes a good number of the people watching it. And if it does not, it will to do. If you are younger than this, if you are younger than this, you'll get here. What I am, what you are, I was, what I am, you will become. But maybe you're older than this, and things are going a little bit better for you than me, but you have a bigger hole in your sense of self-accomplishment. Or not accomplishment, self-actualization is what I meant to say. I have a decent feeling of self-actualization. I know who I am. I wake up and go to sleep the same me. And trust me, ask my coworkers, all the moments in between, I am indelibly Adrian. But I don't know that I will ever get to fully be me. At what point do you sell that out? At what point are you supposed to give up on the dreams if the dreams have not been made? I'm only asking. But I think on the next page, January 16th, we get a little bit of, maybe not clarification, but a little bit of Robert Greene telling us, look, if you fail, so Jim Carrey, very unlikely source, right, for inspirational quotes if you just know him from his movies. But Jim Carrey always tells the story of his father. His father was an accountant. Jim Carrey always says, my father was the funniest man I ever knew. My father could have been a stand-up comedian. My father would have killed going on the road. My father would have killed being on the shows. My father was hilarious. But he was an accountant because he had a family to raise. Until his accounting firm fired him, and he had to take the first job that he could in order to support his family, and he was a janitor. Now, nothing wrong with being a janitor. It's not the same thing as being an accountant. And Jim Carrey, I don't know that he ever says this outright, but he kind of intimates that it crushed his father, as you would imagine. And the lesson that he took from that was, you can fail at the thing you don't want to do. So you might as well try to do the thing you do want to do. His father didn't want to be an accountant and was fired anyway. Ended up doing something he didn't want to do even worse than be an accountant. You can fail at the thing you don't want to do. Why not try, gamble on the thing you do want to do? On January 16th, we get this entry: there are no superior callings. Keep in mind that your contribution to the culture can come in many forms. You don't have to become an entrepreneur or figure largely on the world stage. You can do just as well operating as one person in a group or organization, as long as you retain your strong point of view that is your own, and use this to gently exert your influence. Your path can involve physical labor and craft. You can take pride in the excellence of the work, leaving your particular stamp on the quality. It can be raising a family in the best possible way. In any event, you will want to go as far as you can in cultivating your uniqueness and the originality that goes with it. In a world full of people who seem largely interchangeable, you cannot be replaced. You are one of a kind. Aww. Your combination of skills and experience is not replicable. That represents true freedom and the ultimate power we humans can possess. Daily law: no calling is superior to another. What matters is that it be tied to a personal need and inclination, and that your energy moves you toward improvement and continuous learning from experience. A little bit I call BS, because what Robert Greene seems to be intimating there is that the highest calling, what all callings really boil down to, is being your unique self. Well, that's fine for a Hallmark card. That's fine for a Precious Moments doll. It kind of rings hollow. Doesn't it? Doesn't it? This is not to say that some callings are superior to others. I believe that portion of what he's saying here is true. There is no superior calling to another. There are callings that help a whole lot more people. There are callings that push civilization further than others. You look at a guy like Elon Musk landing rockets and making not just electric cars, but potentially self-driving cars, versus me running a YouTube channel or two. Much different societal contributions, right? A little bit about what Robert Greene seems to be saying here is that self-actualization is uniqueness. I kind of don't think that's true. And he even, I think, catches himself up by saying, oh, that's the wrong page, by talking about, where is it? He talks about scale. I can't find it there. But look, if you were unique in your job at the Five and Dime, kind of like what I'm doing, that's cool. Those aren't monumental steps for society. Anyway, that's all the blathering I have for this video. If you like or appreciate what I do here, hitting the like button really does help me out, as it tells YouTube to share this video with other people who are maybe trying to find their own way. And if you find yourself here by chance but not design, consider hitting the subscribe button in order to stick around for more. This is going to be a weekly feature here on the channel, along with the Daily Stoic, along with the random stuff that I decide to make videos on. And as always, I hope to have you back for the next one.